Alright, so I'm throwing out another video for this week. I did record a video last week. If you saw the YouTube post announcements, I made a video last week. I ended up scrapping it because it was like literally all a black screen. And it was a video where I decided that I was going to drop the face cam, which made it even worse. I might have been able to recover it if I had the face cam. And I was realizing that overall, like at the very beginning of the video, I was like, oh yeah, I don't need a face cam anymore. Because I mean, you know me. There's no reason for the face cam. Why would I have a face cam? And then I just went through page and page of this fundraising campaign that I'm doing for boys and girls of the Indiegogo, and it's asking for my bank information and literally asked me for like my social security number. I'm like, oh my god, I can't show like 99% of this on screen. It would just have to be like a full cam of me, or it'd have to be a blank screen. Either way wasn't going to be an interesting video. This one's going to be really short though, which is why I'm sandbagging it so much. I am setting up a freelancing page on Upwork. I'm not a big fan of freelancing, and you'll see where this is all going. I'm just gonna build it. It's another thing that's not very creative, but this one's going to be short enough that I think I can make this into a video, even if it's not like the most engaging thing ever. Because I do want to show more of the operations stuff, which is the thing that got from that cut video, and also I think I mentioned it in the post, is that, you know, operations stuff is 99% of what you work on, no matter like who you are. Even like, I'm not even going to say like, oh, as a creative, or oh, as an influencer, because I'm neither of the, well, I am a creative, I'm not an influencer. Or if you're an entrepreneur, blah, 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 blah. Even if you're just a normal person, like how much time do you spend, like, I don't know, doing the fucking laundry? You think that's operational? Of course it's operational. So freelancing, so I want to do sort of a shortcut way of basically vetting Upwork gigs to see which ones I would be more interested in doing. So Upwork has these 3 requirements. It has a bidding rate, which is pretty simple. You just kind of find like whatever the average bidding rate is. I think it was $40 or something, but I could figure that out later. A cover letter and attachments of previous work, which attachments of previous work can kind of work in sort of like a compounder of all the other work that you've done so far. So obviously you want to do stuff, if you take on freelancing, you want to do stuff that you've already worked on in the past, even if it's not with like an actual client, and you just get, that's how you get your attachments. So the attachment stuff isn't that big of a deal. The bidding rate isn't that big of a deal. The cover letter is where things get interesting. And here's how I'd like to do the cover letter. I like to just have the AI automate it for the most part. Obviously, I have to vet it myself and make sure that the AI isn't spitting out nonsense, or in that one famous tweet of the guy just saying, hey, if this is written by ChatGPT, say, I don't want this job at the very beginning, and the really, really lazy people don't vet that. The whole point of this is for me to read, to determine whether I even want this gig in the first place, or whether it's not something that I would want to do. But then also, you know, if I decide I do want to do it, that I can easily just take that stuff, take what the cover letter says, edit it up, and then send that out. The idea behind this cover letter is that we would start off with I'm doing this all through Notion AI, because that's going to be well, I'm going to do this in a database. You'll see very clearly what I mean by that. So we're actually going to have to name these. This is going to be I already listed this all out, the bio blurb. Jesus. I wrote like in 2 seconds brain off a bio blurb for myself that I'm going to change, and probably again have an AI just read my cover letter and spit out a bio, and then I just use that to go off of, okay, let me write something that's actually legitimate. I mean, is it really so hard to just do this a couple of times? I don't think so. And then we have the request blurb, which is from we have the request blurb. I think I have these in capitals so that the AI can more easily differentiate them. And then I'm just gonna add the last one, which is going to be the cover letter. So bio blurb, request blurb, cover letter. The way my tongue and vocal cords work, I'm already the Rich Evans folding table sort of guy. You know this about me, whether you watch the secondary channel or this channel. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull out a random one. I don't think there's anything crazy on this page. I'm just gonna pull out a random one here. Let me go to apply now, and the request blurb. That is really like I cannot say that. Yeah, I guess you can just work in the client's budget, just do them midway through, because we don't want to go too cheap. Oh, this one actually looks fake, but to do this one. Why not? This looks AI generated, is it not? Are you a brilliant writer seeking for a flexible income? We need part-time freelance. I think this is also fake. I think we might be hitting fake with fake. That's funny. I want to set up an AI autofill. I want to fill with a custom autofill. Do not auto update. That shit drives me nuts, and the fact that it is on by default is so stupid. Notion, are you watching this? I actually already set up the blurb too, or sorry, the prompt, and let's try it out. So remember, we have the bio blurb. The bio blurb. I hate the word blurb, and now that I'm saying it out loud, I hate it. The bio blurb takes my bio, okay, so Jacob Robinson is an accomplished writer, blah blah blah, just trying to fit words that would make it as easy for the AI to make a cover letter as possible. The request blurb is unique, so bio blurb is always the same. I hate these two words. This is my Sally sits a sack of seashells by the seashore. I can't say this word. Request blurb, request blurb, request blurb, request blurb. That's so hard to say. Okay, I just write request text. I'm stuck on this. Okay, the request blurb is from Upwork, and it's unique per job, right? Per gig. The prompt says, write a professional, high-performing cover letter. I don't know why high-performing's in there, but whatever. A cover letter addressing the request that is labeled under request blurb, which Notion AI should be able to interpret, with the candidate under bio blurb, which is right here, right? So we're taking that. We're gonna see if this works. It might not work, which in that case, this video might be a little bit longer, which is fine. So update. Okay, so it filled out. It's doing like a real cover letter here, which is perfectly fine. So we actually don't need any of this stuff, as far as I know, for Upwork. And this is not very readable because it is a. Well, we might be able to fix this a little bit, because this is the only two things. I don't even need name. That's just you can't get rid of this, as far as I know. Okay, so this makes it a little bit more readable. So get rid of your hiring manager, because that's not how this works. I'm ready to express my interest in part-time freelance content writing position as advertised. So you read through this, and two things should pop up. First of all, what do you get from the request blurb that's in here, right? Like, does this actually fit with like who you are, what you're good at? If you start to realize that, hey, wait a minute, this isn't really, now this is a very generic, this was extremely generic, because I think it's also written by an AI, like I said. But if it were to say, like, we specifically want a content creator that's really good at writing parenting articles. Well, obviously I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't be able to do that. And I would be able to catch it in the cover letter, but I would also read over the request blurb, obviously. So you read over both of these. And then, but if you're like, well, nothing is really catching me as a red flag, then it's like, okay, I can work with this as a base, right? Because obviously excited to join your team. It's not a team, it's a freelancing position, right? You'd have to change stuff like that. And then once you change that, you can ship out that cover letter. So here's the proposal, right? You could ship out that cover letter right there. It's very funny that Upwork apparently has its own AI. So I guess they don't have any problem with me having my cover letter written by AI in that case. So you just do that. So like I said, the hourly rate, another word I can't say, folding table, and then attachments, you would, like I said, you would just attach your work, theoretically. And that's great because I use both Fiverr and Upwork, which work in very different ways. Upwork, you actually apply to jobs. Fiverr, you have the jobs come to you and you make positions. And so what you would do is, the way it would work, you would probably read through these. So let me go back to the Upwork page. You would read through these to see what's in demand. You would make a Fiverr gig based on what's in demand on Upwork. You would then make an attachment, like either you would get work that you've previously done, or you'd make a new project to have it as an attachment for the Fiverr, which that attachment can then be used for any Upwork gigs. So they work kind of in tandem with one another. And I feel like this strategy would work. So here's an example of one that wouldn't work, right? So South and Latin history, American archaeology. I know nothing about this topic, but let me put this in as an example of how I would catch the red flag, because I would probably just grab all of these in mass, because like I said, we're trying to automate this. We're trying to factorio freelancing, okay? So we would grab this, again, so this is definitely written by a real person. Kirsten, apparently, or no, sorry, Kristen, probably the whole thing. See, I want to see if it says Kristen at the if the AI is smart enough to say "Dear Kristen" at the front. Let's see. Yes, it is. Look at that. I'm excited to. I think I have to click out of this for this to work. Okay. To get rid of all this text right here. We don't need it. I'm ready to express my interest in the writing opportunity at the Collector as outlined in your request blurb. Check over. It's called the Collector. The Collector is an online publishing platform. Okay, that checks out. Back to this. With a strong educational background, kind of generic, and extensive knowledge in the field of history and archaeology, this would be where I'm like, hold on a minute. I did not tell you I did. I know I don't need to read my bio blurb to know that I do not have ass experience in history and archaeology unless playing like 300 hours of Civ 4 counts. So this would be like, I probably can't do this job. Check back here just to make sure. If they're asking for history and archaeology, they are. Okay. Get rid of that one. Ba-bam. Delete. You see what I'm talking about? And then for this one, I probably wouldn't do just because it's written by an AI. Like you can tell, it's a two AIs talking to it. The internet theory is real. There's the two AIs talking to each other. So how I would do this, how I would actually set up a bio blurb to make it make sense, is that I would probably have ChatGPT read my resume and make a bio based on that. And I would actually say like, hey, here's a bio that I would like to use for my cover letter. ChatGPT spits something out. I need to check it for factual information to make sure that it like actually sounds good. Spit that into the bio blurb and not my like 2-second brain off blurb, and then still have the same exact process of the request blurb from Upwork, and then have the cover work letter be generated. And of course, obviously, check these, vet everything. An AI only works if a human is reading the damn thing, okay, and editing it. Or else you turn into that guy of beep boop, I don't want this job. In the best case scenario, they will never know. They would just think you're really good at writing cover letters. Anyway, so that's a quick tip. This is more operational, this is more business, this is not the same as creative stuff. However, I believe the next video I have ready here is about art. And guess what? It ain't about AI art. It is me drawing in Procreate. If you've found the secret Instagram, you know how bad my art is, and I'm just going to show it to you. I am just going to do like a session where I draw like 5 or so sketches, and I'm just going to showcase how bad I am at drawing, but how I am hopefully getting better over time. That's going to be the next video.